come into your statements. So the statement like this, while just seeing the statement, you would understand what are things I need to do, from where I need to start, and how to start. Understand? This is nothing but we call a problem statement, and that is the very first point I could say when you starting your research. Is it okay? Understand what is problem, how to define the problems? Alright, so let's go for the next. Hypothesis. Okay, suppose you have decided your problems. Alright, he talked about a new product, she talked about a women's working. Now how you going to decide, because this is my topic, and whenever I see my topic, it's always a good. It's happening now. If you have decided something, if you have framed something, so for you, it is one of the best statements. Am I right? For others, it can be a bad, it can be a good, it can be an average. Am I right? So how you need to decide whatever the statement you have been selected, that statement is right or wrong. You need to have, because this is assumption, I could have these assumptions, I want to do this. Start nahi hua. I could not have any conclusion in it. I don't have anything. I just saying I want to be so and so discussion. Alright. So this assumption is nothing but which is we call the hypothesis. So what is hypothesis? The hypothesis is the assumption. It's assumptions. Now important aspect I'll tell you. Always we wanted to prove whatever I said, or whatever we said. Yes or no? If I said something, I want to prove it. Yeah, this is right, because I said. You want to prove it? So just proving it, whatever statement you are taking, whether it is a right or wrong, and 100% we want to prove the right side. So what we need to do? We need to do the testing, and which is we call the hypothesis testing. What is clear? So what is hypothesis? Assumptions. This is assumption, which is we have taken as my parameters. So like hypothesis, I said, just we have corrected, like she has not taken the Pune, in Pune where? In IT, she was not taken earlier IT, but that assumption become wrong to cover each and every departments where the women are working. So what we need to do? We need to make a correction. We have to specify the IT, assumption will be changed. Now it's become more easy to prove it. Yes or no? So same thing is happening with the assumptions. Understand what is hypothesis? The hypothesis is nothing but your assumptions, right? To prove your problem statements. Right? Which is giving a direction whether you are working in the right direction or the wrong direction. So it can be achieved by using the hypothesis testing, where we would have two kind of hypothesis testing. The first one which is we call the null. लिखते जाओ उसको थोड़ा सा लिख लेना. There's a two different hypotheses we do have. The first one which is we call the null hypothesis, and the second one which is we call the alternate hypothesis. इसमें मत देखो, वहाँ देखो भी सिर्फ. So what I talked about hypothesis. What is hypothesis? The hypothesis is nothing but the assumptions. Why we do have a hypothesis? Whenever you frame certain problems, whether the problem statement is wrong or right, alright, how do you judge? By using the only hypothesis testing. There is a two type of hypothesis. The first one is null hypothesis, and the second is alternate hypothesis. Now we'll understand it. Afternoon we are going to do some certain exercise also. Alright. If I am saying this is multiplex, can you believe? This is multiplex. If I am saying this is multiplex, and if I prove it, this is multiplex. So what it means? It means this is belongs to a null hypothesis. Means whatever I was thinking and I prove that is true. Whatever I was thinking and I prove that is true, that means what? It could be say a null hypothesis. Alright. And don't write. And if I am not able to prove this is multiplex, if somebody prove no, this is the lecture hall, I become false. If I become false, that means what? There is a alternate hypothesis. Means whatever I am thinking, I need to be correct. Am I right? I need to be correct. That means what? Whatever statement I have picked and that become false, alright, that means there is something else is also there which I need to be modify or I need to be correct into the my problem statements. Understand? So that is what we call a alternate hypothesis. That is, we have only two. One is null. If you prove it, that is null, true. Second one is alternate. If it is null hypothesis become false, that means what you have? You have an alternate hypothesis. If alternate hypothesis come, that means you need to be correct your problem statements. You understand what I am talking about? Alright. So what we do normally, I think everybody have learned the mathematics. Yes or no? In mathematics, it's one very good concept are there while learning the theorems. We always do the assumption first. Let it's true. Let is true, because sometimes I found in mathematics some statement to make the proof it is true become complicated. You put lot of like formulas or theories or something, but it's not in position. You are not in position to prove it. It is true. So what we do? We assume that is true. Alright. Yes, sometimes you also assume this is not true and prove it this is not true. Become easy. Rather than proving it, it is true, we can take the statement like this, it is not a true, and this not a true statement make the true. I'll let you know, this is little bit complicated. Okay, fine. Can I say this is Bisleri pani bottle? Alright, this is my problem statement. This is my problem statement. This is the Bisleri bottle. Now I need to prove it. This is Bisleri bottle. Difficult? I need to do the filtering or I need to do a lot of testing so that I can come up with a solution. Okay, this is really a Bisleri bottles. Rather than doing this, can I say reverse of it? It is not a Bisleri bottle. Now it's become easy to prove it. To prove what you need to prove? This is not a Bisleri bottle. What you need to prove? This is not a Bisleri bottle. And if it is become true, this is not a Bisleri bottle, that means what? That means what? Whatever you have assumed it, this is Bisleri bottle. That is automatically this is going to be a proof. Am I right? You understand what I am talking about? Alright. So this is what we call a null hypothesis and the alternate. So always whenever you want to prove the null hypothesis and whenever you want to prove your statement is true, make the navigation of your statement and prove that navigation is true. So the null hypothesis become true. Okay, so automatically what is happening? If the null hypothesis become true, so there is no scope of alternate for the navigation, but for your statement there is a alternate solutions, there is alternate hypothesis, right? So in this way we prove it. We always take the negation of the statements to prove whether hypothesis is wrong or right. Alright? Alright, so this is what the two types we have. We see later in details. Next point which we have, designing research. Is it okay? So first point we have seen it, the problem definition. Second problem we have seen it, hypothesis, and prove the statement whether the hypothesis is true or false. So how you can do this? By using the null and alternate hypothesis. We'll see some exercise in afternoon. Now designing the research. How do you design this? Suppose the statements become true. We have taken the statement, we have chosen the statement, we have proved the statement is right. Now we need to start the development. Now, like already you said in the particular, now I am making one more question. I want to do the study of profit. I want to just to do the calculations of the profit analysis of the big bazaar in India. So how many big bazaars are there? In India, we don't know. In India, a lot of cities are there. In a lot of cities, we have a lot of big bazaars, stores. Now, it's not possible for me to go visit each and every city. Yes or no? It's not possible for us to go and meet and visit each and every big bazaars throughout India. Rather than doing, can we do like this? Can we take assumption and just simple, on an average we are going to talk. On an average we are going to talk. Means we take the metros. So whatever happening in the metros, we say okay, on an average all over India having the same. There is a judgment comes. Like simple, if you watching the movies, if the movie is hit in the metros, ultimately hit in the village, nobody is going to get a review from the village. Am I right? Nobody is going to in lot of like in depth of village and just asking you, how was the movie? Nobody is going to do. Where they go? They go to the metros or metro kind of cities. Not exactly metros or metro kind of cities. है ना? Special cities like Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore. If the people are saying yes, that movie is good, what review comes? The movie is hit. So what we call on an average the movies are good, right? If I generally ask some person from back side, yes, you blue shirt, ये वाला. I just ask you one thing: what is the average age in these classrooms? Means the person who's sitting in this class, what is the average age? You don't know the age of any other person, है ना? You don't know. Yes. So what is the average age? Maybe 25 to 30. Perfect. Because we don't know the average of age of everybody. If we know the average of age of each and every person, it become easy to calculate. But when you don't know what we talked on an average, right? So now we need to do those kind of things into the research designings. When you taken, okay sir, I want to do so and so study in India, but in India it's not possible to visit each and every places. So what we do, we make two kind of thing which is we call a sampling. What do you call it? Sampling. I'll show you the sampling after this. We have the sampling. Now sampling techniques is a technique where you need to start the collection of your data. You have a problem statement, you have already framed your hypothesis, you have tested your hypothesis. Now the time comes to go the places and collect the data, right? But where I need to go, that is the big questions. From where I need to start? I have taken so and so, like big budget, I have taken big budget study in India. So where I need to go? In India, that has become difficult. I belong to Pune. So what I am going to do? I'll take the population. What do we call it? Populations. Population means the universe. In your problem statement, which one is the universe? The India is become the universe. Because which one is a target place? The India is a target place. Right? In this example of Big Bazaar, the India is a target place. So can I say my population for collecting the data, alright, for collecting the data, my population is India, right? So this is called a population, or sometimes we also call it a universe. First what comes into picture. But it's not possible for you to go each and every places. It's not possible to go to Chennai. It's not possible to go to the Chennai ke baad Kanyakumari, so and so places. What we do? We win little bit places. Small आसपास के जो हैं महाराष्ट्र के बाहर भी, we just go to the MP, we just go to the Gujarat, है ना? They also comes into India. We just target it like out of, if I say the 30 states are there, so out of 30 states, can I just visit the 10 states? If I'll visit 10 states, can I conclude things on an average? Yes. On an average, we can conclude. So what we do? We choose the particular state, and in the particular state, we choose the particular city which is quite famous. Which is quite famous. We go there, we do the collection of data, we ask the question, we ask the survey, we do the survey, and we conclude the things. So what is my population? The population is become India, but in the population, what I am targeting? I am targeting only the 10 cities. Only the 10 cities. What are these 10 cities? These 10 cities in research methodology we call the sampling. We call the sampling. Understand? The population now, what is my population? The population India. Population is India, but from that population, what is my sample area or sampling area? The sampling area is my 10 cities. 10 city among India. Alright? So two terminology comes into the picture. The first one, which is we call the sample, population, means the target audience, and the second one, which is we call the sample. Sampling means the area where you have to go and collect your data. Understand? Later on this sampling is going to be divided in many more things. We will see later. So is it okay? And if you start the collection of data from your population, from your sampling, this is called the research design. This is called the research design. Is it okay? Alright. So the next word which is we have seen, which is we call the research design. Research design means the sampling, how to collect the data, from where you need to collect the data. Alright. Look, this is the guideline how to put mean of the obtaining information, which is most important. What data you need to be collect. So according to the data you need to go, you need to design your questionnaires, your survey and many more things. Alright. Ability and skill of the researcher. What researcher is thinking, how the researcher is thinking, what exactly the researcher wants. As per their thinking, you need to be design your research. Alright. Okay, that's simple. Now we go for that. Okay. Now is it okay? Research design. Research design means we talked about the sampling and populations. मैं थोड़ा brief में बता रहा हूँ so that you understand it. Now after that what we do? Suppose we have chosen, okay, sir, you said in India population sampling, I have chosen the 10 cities. Now I started working on that. What I need to do? I need to go to those 10 cities. Suppose I went to the particular city. Let's have an example of Delhi. I went to Delhi. Now what I need to do? I need to meet the particular big bazaar guys, manager or whatever is there, who can give me some kind of data. What data I need to collect from there? That question comes. Am I right? What data I need to be collect from the big bazaar? ऐसा तो नहीं है मैं जाके बोलूँगा सर मैं आया हूँ, मेरा नाम ये है, चाइना से करा दो. बिग बाजार घूम लिया, कुछ फ्री वाला है, कुछ है क्या स्कीम? तो इफ यू हैव एनी स्कीम प्लीज गिव मी, आई विल गो बैक. और while going on train, I will fill something, whatever I need, because you need na. Ultimately you need. Who is going to look? Really you going to Delhi or not? Nobody. So, but when you went to the Delhi, you wanted to ask the big bazaar guys, what data, है ना? Definitely they are going to ask you, what do you want? You want data. What data? What kind of data you looking for? You need to be decided. And this data collection, which is we call the data collection. What we call it? Data collection, which is next step of research. After the sampling, after research design, what we need to do? We need to have the data collection. Earlier we have seen stages, data collections. Now this data collection can be possible in two different ways. The first way, which is we call the primary data, and the second way, which is we call the secondary data. Right? Two way. The first way, which is we call the primary data, and the second way, the secondary data. Now what are the primary data and what are the secondary data? Let's we have a talk. Primary data, the data which is like just fresh data. Just fresh data. You guys got your assignments?
Yes.
How many have done assignments? None. Last. Alright. Any others? Done it. Pura completed. Now later on, if I'll ask you, suppose there is a date. After 3 days, all have to submit your assignments. Now what's going to happen? If you are busy, what are you going to do? If you are like, जैसे मैं इनको पकड़ लेता हूँ, है ना? His wife is there. Suppose his wife is housewife. Now what he's going to do? He's purchasing very good gift from the market, giving to the wife. Please have it, है ना? Nothing, no occasions. Just giving to the wife, and along with the gift, he's giving the list of assignments. Please have it, है ना? And he is not giving a one assignment, he is giving a two assignment. One assignment, है ना, from where he is to copy. Alright, एक assignment इनका खुद का होगा, and one assignment is the assignment of some other guys who has already done it. So what are you going to do? He is going to copy the assignment from the others, है ना? And उस दोस्त को भी क्या बोलेंगे? Let's go for the dinner. So assignment is done. Assignment is done. Till and deadline, he has submitted assignment, he got a marks of assignments. Am I right? This is normally general practice we do in the classrooms. Even you do also. है ना? 1 and 2, she is not agree, but 1 and 2, alright. But mostly, that definitely they are going to do this. Similar things, the person who has done the first time assignment, that's, can I say the fresh data? He has put lot of efforts, he understood a concept, है ना? He put lot of formulas, and then he would able to sort out the assignments. Can I say that is a fresh data? Yes or no? That is the fresh data. And the fresh data, it's called a primary data, which is a fresh data, which is not available any other places, not even in books also. Similar way, when you talked about the research, whenever you going to visit personally some places as per your research problem statements, you going to ask some questions which is the fresh questions, yes or no? Those questions are the fresh question, and you going to ask the question from the particular person or particular audience, those data which is we call the primary data. Understand? So how do you get a primary data? There are certain techniques to get a primary data. The techniques are, the first one, survey. First technique is survey, right? Second techniques to make questionnaires. Just have some questionnaires and ask the person to fill it. Like maybe it can be feedback also. Anyway, but this is questionnaires. Alright. Third is observation. Just seeing something which is mostly being used by the doctors. Put something in observation, 12 hours observation. उनका fees भी बढ़ रहा है. And they are nothing. बाहर वाला कुछ तो नहीं कर रहा है डॉक्टर. बस लेटा है patient, लेटा हुआ patient. And doctor is saying, we are putting on observation. To whom? Who is going to observe? And doctor is not there. Nobody is there. What kind of observation you are going to do? But that's the technique to get the data, observations, right? Interview, most famous interview. So these are the different techniques to collect your primary data. Understand? What are the primary data? The primary data techniques are survey, questionnaires, interviews, and observations. Many more. But these are the famous. I'll show you one example of this. There's a few guys from the IT companies. Now you know what kind of IT companies are, how they are working it. Suppose I'm having my own IT company, very small IT company. Suppose I'm making the games. Now suddenly I got certain problems in my companies. Some kind of problems comes which is not able to solve by my employees, and I'm not having that much amount to call some expert to resolve the problems. So what solution I do have? I having my company got some certain kind of problems in ITs, alright, and my company is not in position to call certain expert from outside because they are going to charge higher side. So what solution I do have? Simple. It's quite simple. Call interviews. Publish one advertisement papers or maybe in Google or somewhere. Call the interviews. When the people is going to apply, and we have written over there only BE in MCA and so are eligible to apply because I have IT company. Now the guys are coming into for the interviews. Now what I told to the panel, ask the problem whatever we are facing, and let's see what are the solutions comes from there. Different guys are coming with the different ideas, and just ask them those questions. At least maybe chances we'll get some solutions. One guy came inside, panel, just throw over that questions. Okay, so and so. He's thinking, take your time, please have a sit. We just give the places, please sit over there, and we'll call some coffee or something. That can be there. We call the coffee or something. That guy is thinking 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. Similar way, we have many more guys. End of the day, maybe possible you get a solution. Maybe yes, or maybe you can get some idea to get your solutions. Maybe possible, but at least you are getting something. So that is the reason we do have an interview, right? So IT वाला ऐसा नहीं करना है बाद में, alright? It's just example. So this is the thing. From these kind of things we can get the solution of the interview. So what we do in interview? You are not going to have a personal interview. You have the statement, problem statement, your interview, your statement problems. According to your problem statement, you need to have the interview of the target audience. But please remember, while doing the interview, please make sure you are asking the question from the right person. Right? So I have seen many times what happened when some guys like being an MBA students, fresh students, you guys quite experienced. When the fresh students goes to a company, they starting asking the question from the security guard. Initially they end up